Hello and welcome back to Norfolk Fords. Annoyingly, I said I was going to start doing this up just a little bit, just to keep as our future classic. But I've done a fair few of the big bits and I didn't really think about putting the camera on, so silly me. So we'll just go through a rather quick little update. So I can't remember all the things that I said I was going to do, but this is what I've done so far. So the reason we started having a look at this tractor was because in the field during Gladdy lifting, the Ford reverse cut out. So she was dead in the water. So what you have underneath is, you'll never see it, but underneath there, just in front of that guard, there's a bank of 3 solenoids. So you've got one that does forward, one that does reverse, and one that does hold. So they're all the identical part number. So you can do a bit of what they call swapnostics. So because we couldn't get forward or reverse drive, the process of elimination says there's something wrong with the hold. So I took all 3 off. They look a little something like this. This is the old one. It's hard getting this out of the packet with one hand. Right, that's the old one. Simple little coil, just 2 pins to go off of. So what I did 2 things to this. Well, all 3 of them. I did resistance check. This one was dead. Also took a 12-volt battery and connected the terminals. The other 2 clicked, this one didn't. So this one definitely did. And this was off of the hold position solenoid, which means if that one's dead, you can't get forward or reverse to work either. So what we did was we took the reverse one and we swapped them over. So then reverse solenoid was on the hold one. So then hold was able to activate, which meant you could then go into forward because forward still had a good one, but reverse was still dead because we just swapped the dead solenoid onto reverse, which means it was working. Swapnostic successful. We got a new one of these ordered for the next week. So we got them swapped over. Happy with that. The thing drives again. Lovely jubbly. So I said to Dad, right, I've got it in the workshop. It was in bay 2, you know, using the new workshop system. I finally want to take that front PTO shaft out. And here it is. That was quite a satisfying little afternoon job. So there's a base plate. I'm not going to open the bonnet because I've just got all the panels on nicely. Actually, no, I can. Hold on. Sit you down. There we go. Yeah, I was thinking of before I did this because I also fixed the panels how they fix on, so they actually come off nicely now. So anyway, remove the battery. You've got two bolts, 17mm heads, just underneath this radiator. So you take them out, and then this plate here is able to be jacked up. So I literally just got pry bar, lifted it, blocked it with a bit of wood, and that gave me enough room to get at the lovely shaft. So this is the engine side. This has a big rubber donut, and that takes out a bit of the shock of startup and turning on and stuff like that. So there's a bit of a dampening effect with the donut, but they can go wrong, they can rip, they can shred, and I've seen that happen when I used to work at double days. So this is why I was paranoid about this shaft, because I've seen what happens when these go wrong, and I've seen for a long while now this, while running, would go wibble wobble wobble. So obviously I want to take it off, look after our tractor. So I did, had that jacked up, shaft came out. It was a bit fiddly getting all the bolts out, but if you take out all 8 bolts, the donut can then slide back onto the shaft, and then you're able to sort of lift it round the front of the engine, and that's good. So where the actual problem is these splines. As you can see, they've started to sharpen, which means you're not getting a full contact on the other shaft. which means it's got room to wiggle about. That's where you start getting more points on this develop, because then you've got more room to rattle. You then got more room to take them splines and damage them, and eventually they break, and then that will fly off, damage all underneath your radiator. I've seen it happen with a couple of the newer tractors. I certainly didn't want it happening to our future classic. Well, a lot of people would argue these are already a classic. So, just shut the bonnet again. The bonnet still doesn't shut fully, because the truth is I didn't look into it. I got the panels shutting better, you know, all these side panels, but the bonnet needs a bit of love and attention, and we now need the tractor working again. So we've got her in good condition to start work again, which is good. And another silly little thing which just makes a bit of a difference, change that bulb. The terminal on the back of it was starting to break off, so that was worthwhile. I've also done all the tyre pressures up. That side tyre started losing pressure while it stood still, so possibly needs a little bit of goo in there or something. So tractor's now ready for a bit of trailer work again, because it is a tractor, it's got to earn its keep, so we can't keep it in the workshop for the sake of putting the decals on. On a side note, I will order decals, because I would love to see this with the full stickers on once again. And also, I would love to get a nice end on that again, because I know you can get weld-on kits where basically you just chop the head off, sink the new bit on, and it just a little bit wider, so it'll go over your existing exhaust. So that's a little detail which would be nice to get her up to scratch. I don't want to paint her, because she's in good enough nick not to be painted really. It's working clothes. It's in good condition for working clothes. You know, there's a fair few scratches like on the roof and on the bonnet, but I've seen this tractor when it's polished up, when all the cab's cleaned out, and she still looks beautiful. So come into the cab. I've left a little bit of mess which I'll clean up, and we move on to the last bit, what I've sorted out. So when the forward reverse packed up, this unit beeps at you. So we had that part in stock at Swineshead, so I rushed off and went to change that, because we knew, you know, that could get us out of a muddle. The solenoids, like this one, they did not. So we picked this up and I stripped out all the steering wheel. While doing so, we realised this plastic is actually quite damaged. So, call me a gorilla if you must, but there's nothing wrong with a practical fix. I put some screws through, just on this side, because now the dashboard is all in one piece. I can grab hold of that and shake it about, and it's not going to come apart, because I said to Dad about it, and he gave me some practical advice. He says, if I get a new bit of plastic for that, which, you know, might be 100 quid, might be more, might be less, is that going to earn any money? He's got a point. So I did it as he asked. It is his tractor after all, and put some screws through. So there's a lesson for you. When you come to restoring tractors, sometimes you have got to think with little details like this, is it going to earn you any money? Because this is still a working tractor. If this was a showroom tractor, we probably would have. But she's a good worker. She's still a lovely machine to work. In fact, I had the little free furrow plough on it the other day, just to tidy up the allotment. So, you know, she's 100 horsepower, she's got 4-wheel drive. It still has got good muscle behind it to get jobs like that done. So, it'd be wrong of me not to start her up. And let her sing. sounds even better when she's actually under load. When I had the plough on it, it just had that nice little bit of throat to it. So, thank you very much for watching. Just a little crude update. And like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And we'll see you next week. Thank you very much. And of course, farm safe.